Hey there, ladies and gentlemen. How's it going? My name is Celtic. I'm an IGL for Conquest Esports, and today we're going to be continuing on our journey of learning to IGL. Today we're going to be talking about some methods to improve your practice, especially with everybody stuck in quarantine right now. You might have some extra free time and want to run some things, test some things out. So we're going to talk about a couple of things. The first thing we're going to talk about, and you'll see me use it here as we get. Oh, that's not what I wanted to do. Excuse me. Sorry about that. We're going to head into a map. uh, we're going to use Mirage as an example here. But one of the things you're going to see me do is you're going to see me execute a practice config, which we'll talk about here in a bit. But the first thing I want to talk about is how to practice flashbangs by yourself. Now, one of the things you can do to practice flashbangs normally is you can bring a friend into the server, have him stand in the spots you want to test, and throw flashes. Then obviously he can tell you, I'm blind, I'm not blind, I'm blind for this long, whatever. But if you don't have a friend, let's say you're a lonely guy, whatever, or it's, midday and everybody's pugging and you want to test some things out because you're an IGL, that's what you do. Here's some of the things that you can do. So first off, we're going to execute our practice config. Ours is just called practice. So we're going to execute that, and it runs a bunch of commands in the background. We don't need to worry about they do. We'll talk about that in a little bit. It might be in a separate video, so stay tuned for that. But here on episode 2, we want to talk about flashbangs. So a couple of things you can do. So one, to test the trajectory of flashbangs. For the most part, especially pop flashes, so flashes that go in the air, that sort of thing, HE grenades have the same trajectory, but don't blind you, and they should pop about the same. So if we're just going to throw a flash like this, yeah. Okay, so we can see where that popped right there, right? So if we throw an HE on the same trajectory, it pops in the same spot. So you can test that if you want to see how far you need to be, to flash mid, or maybe you want to throw a pop flash A ramp. Just like that, right? My flashbang will do the same thing, right? So that's one of the things you can do. Now, one of the other things you can do is you can utilize bots and the SV cheats to see bots in certain positions. So let's say let's add a bot here, okay, and that's gonna reset our round because we added a player in, so it's gonna reset our round for us. But now one of the commands we want to make sure we use is bot stop, and we want to turn it to 1 so that bots freeze where we put them. So now let's say we want to put a bot on the bench here to test the flash A ramp, right? So we're gonna do bot underscore place. It didn't add it. Cool. My bad. We'll restart the round. We'll go from scratch here. Sometimes with my practice config, since it kicks bots, it doesn't always work, but that's something you can adjust in your practice config. You can also have it set to kill all the bots at the beginning instead of kick them, which sometimes adds some added strain on your personal server, but hey, whatever. So anyway, we're going to place a bot here. Bot, there he is. Now because of the bot stop command, he's not going to move. He's just going to hang out at bench, right? So now we want to use our SV cheats, which we've turned on through our auto exec, but if you haven't turned it on, SV cheats 1 to turn that on. Now we're going to use the R commands, which is about the models and graphics in the game. We're going to use R underscore draw other models 2. And what this is going to do, oh, I hit S2. 2. And it's going to turn things to wireframe, right? And this is going to be separate entities in the game, right? So, I might be a little far away for this. I don't know, looks like it'll work. But you can see when I throw a flash over the wall, if you look at him, he's going to raise his arm. So now we know he's flashed, right? We throw a flashbang through here. It's obviously going to be blind longer. And you can utilize that to test your flashbangs. So between using HEs, which explode, or testing it through the wall so you can see where he's blind, that's a couple of ways you can test flashbangs. Now you can place multiple bots if you add, if we do like bot add T again and place another one. Let's add a couple here. Okay, so let's do one like right here. Bot place. Oh, they might need to be alive. This is not a method I use very often, but it's definitely something you can use, especially now that you have more free time. So if we If we go like, let's just execute our config again. Actually, that'll kick all the bots. Let's do mp restart game 1. Okay. Now we can place our bots again. So let's do bot underscore place. We got one there. And you'll have to get a little used to placing the bots with the commands because it is a little finicky. But once you get used to placing them, it's a lot easier. So we can go like that. We still have our wireframes drawn. Now we can throw some flashes. Oh. Might be too far away for that. But anyway, so let's say like I'm gonna throw this flash. Blind, blind, triple guy not blind, right? Or maybe we're just gonna throw a flash over default. CT is blind, okay? So stuff like that can help you figure out flash trajectories and things like that. A couple of tools that you can use. One of the things that comes with time in the game is the more you use flashbangs, obviously you're gonna know this is blind, this is not blind, and throwing good trajectories that you can practice with the AG is gonna help you figure that out more. So like, okay, that flashed over CT. Now I should know based on what's in the way of sightlines who should be blind or not. So practicing those trajectories can really help you out. So I'm probably going to end this video here, and we'll do a separate video about the practice config and things you can use to improve your practice time and make efficient practice time with your team in private servers.